Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. It's a beautiful day and like to welcome Mike to the set. Good to see you, Mike.
Good to be back.
And today we're going to pick about 26 bowl picks, the first 26 of the 42. Of course, there's another game in college football, but that will be the national championship game on the 9th of December, I believe. No, the 9th of January on a Monday. And
I've got to get used to that bowling ball now. That Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that's my Santa bowling
I like
pin.
it. I like it.
And I saw one in a store and bought it. And then I painted about 3 or 4 the other day and gave some away.
Where'd you get them? Where'd you find all these bowling pins?
Well, I find them here and there, but about a year or two ago, I was in downtown Luverne at the old fair store, right there on the right when you take a left going toward the chicken shack.
Yeah.
But they had about 10 for sale.
Okay.
I bought every one of them.
Yeah, you're right.
I can spray paint them like I did one year for one of the coaches at Charles Henderson. I spray painted it navy, and then I put a decal on it, a Trojan decal, and I put a stripe around its neck, and it had a flag on it. And I gave that to one of the coaches. I gave it to Coach Dean, but I think he left it, and I think Marcus Jones claimed it.
Well, good.
And hey, Mike, here's another thing that I dabbled with. This is like you see at Cracker Barrel. So my class, we made some, but I cut out the triangles, and this last night I made 3 of them, and I put a little bit of varnish, polyacrylic around the edges, and decorative red and blue. And
how do you play that game?
You play the game as, if you remember, you got to jump one. When you jump one, you take a peg off. Then you jump another one, and you take a peg off. Then you jump another one, take a peg off. And the goal is to leave one peg.
I got you.
And so the reason I put an extra peg in there is because, you know, you really only need 14. Let's see, there's 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 15, you only need 14, but I added an extra one in case somebody lost it. But
that's neat. How many of those did you make?
Well, I made 3 last night.
Yeah, you made 3 last night.
And what I do, I don't have a drill press, so what I do is on my drill bit, I put a piece of tape about a half to 3/4 inch down. And once my drill hits that tape, I pull it up. Because I don't want one peg to be way down low, one peg to be way down high. And I also do tic-tac-toe. And on tic-tac-toe, you know, if you start first and you have blue, well, you need 5 blue. But when it's my turn, I need 5 red. So there's not enough squares. There's only 9 squares to put those pegs on. So what I do, if this was a square, I drill a hole in the side and to have the extra peg. So when you play, you can play check, you can play tic-tac-toe. But this is, I call that the Cracker Barrel game. This is a game of reasoning and deduction and all that kind of stuff. So
it's neat. It's neat. You've got a,
which one you want?
You've got a crowd.
You want red and blue, or do you want this color? Which color you want?
No,
you can take this to your beach home, and that'll give you your friends or family something to do.
We can do that.
Okay.
We'll do that. Yeah, thank you.
I've got another set in the truck and got some to
But who did Santa here?
Michael asked about that the other day. I bought that in LaGrange, Georgia. Look how much it cost.
$12.95.
$12.95. That was about probably 25 years ago.
Oh boy, isn't that something? Well, you want to hold on to that.
Football.
That's right. That's unique. Really is.
And I meant to bring one, but you seen the glass insulators, the old timey glass insulators?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, they're like they're about this high, and they got a little indentation. That's where the wire went around it. Well, I paint all those white. Paint them white, paint the dome red, take you some brown twine, turn around its neck and tie it, cut it off, and then I draw an eye, dot, an eye, dot, an eye, eyebrow, smile, and a nose for the carrot for the nose. And I made about 5 or 6 of those this year, gave them away.
Well, that's unique, really is.
A little bit artistic coming out in me from the Nation Goshen, Bob Lawrence, and Teresa Sanders.
Yeah, Bob Lawrence know him well, and he was a good teacher, wasn't he?
Great teacher.
Yeah.
And you know, have you ever been to a wedding where this artist, draws a picture during the reception? She takes, and at the end of the wedding and the reception, her portrait is ready of the bride and groom.
I know it. I read about that in the magazine. Did you ever get a copy of the magazine?
I want one.
Well, I've got them, and I probably got one in the truck.
Well, Amanda Smothers, she does that.
Yeah.
And her dad's Mike Benton. He's a well-known artist. But you saw Jennifer Lindsay.
Yeah,
Jennifer Dunn Lindsay.
Yeah.
And I taught with her, and I went to an art class with her just for fun one summer, her and about 3 or 4 other teachers. But they have inspired me to start this wedding portraits of myself. I do it.
Yeah.
And I did one the other day, but mine is called stick portrait. I just draw the little, a circle of the head and a line. But I gave it to Keith and Linda Snyder. They had their 60th anniversary not long ago. I did that as a joke, but it is kind of funny.
Well, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere we go. What do you think? I don't know the words.
I have to look at them. But Jody and a good friend of ours, Sheila Farmer, they went shopping last weekend to Dothan. There was hardly anybody in the stores. There was no waiting to buy your products. The food court was shut down at the Dothan Mall.
Really? Why?
Because people are shopping online.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Gosh.
They're shopping online.
Now,
she said it didn't feel like Christmas because it's going to feel like Christmas.
My daughter shops online. I know that, Rebecca, and she buys most of all the Christmas, and she buys enough Christmas to last us forever, but she likes doing it.
Well, let's talk about Troy football. You're leaving for Orlando today or tomorrow?
Yeah, leaving in a few minutes after we get off the air. We're going to drive down to Orlando, and this afternoon they're going to have a battle of the bands, and they're going to have a big pep rally and so forth, and and a lot of that's going on this afternoon after 5 o'clock, and then at tomorrow morning, starting at 11 o'clock, is a tailgate party with food and whatever. And the Troy University National Alumni Association is sponsoring that.
Make sure I follow work.
And so
they have a graduation for the band members and football players today.
They're going to do that during that ceremony at 5 o'clock, somewhere around that. And I don't know how the numbers is, but they're going to do all the football seniors that are graduating, and they're going to do the diplomas, and the same way with the band participants.
Well, Mr. Mike, I read in the paper that both teams have won like 10 in a row.
Yeah.
They're both 12-2. We both won our conference. We won the Sun Belt Conference. Troy did. University of Texas San Antonio won the the USA.
Oh yeah, that conference.
Conference USA.
Yeah.
But listen to this: their offense is high powered. Their quarterback is a fella by the name of Harris. Let's see if I can find his first name. But their quarterback, has thrown for over 3,800 yards, 31 touchdowns. He's ran for almost 600 yards and 9 more touchdowns. He's got 2 receivers, Jakari Franklin, 86 catches for 1,100 yards. The other receiver, Joshua Cephas, 87 catches for 985 yards for 6 touchdowns. They got another kid named Clark. He's caught almost 800 yards in passes. But they've got a pair of backs. One back's rushed for 713 yards, Kavorian Barnes and Brendan Brady, 700 yards. So it's going to be the strength of our team is our offense, and the strength of our defense. and the strength of their team is their offense.
And they have what most coaches dream of. They've got a quarterback that can throw, and they got a quarterback that can run. Yes. And then in between, if he drops back to pass and can't find a receiver, then bang, 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 bang. You got to make a play on him. Yeah.
Right. And there was a good article in the Dothan Eagle a couple of days ago about how Coach Sumrall and his staff are juggling this and recruiting. The recruiting deadline, the early signing period is the 20th of December.
That's right.
Which is right around the corner. And there was Gunnar Watson has also addressed his intentions about next year. He's coming back to Troy.
Oh yeah,
one more year.
He's got more. He's got more time now to show what he can do. You know.
It says Troy will play against the University of Texas San Antonio tomorrow at 2:00.
That's 2 Central.
At the Curabo, and it will be aired nationally on ESPN. I heard yesterday morning that WTBF will not be able to carry it.
That surprises me.
Hadn't that happened before? When Alabama announces they don't announce the SEC championship game, they may do it taped, but I don't think they can do it live.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah,
I guess because they want all the rights to everything.
Now, can somebody listen to it on the radio?
I don't think so. You got to watch it on ESPN TV, which is another second game in a row that we've had that exposure.
That's national TV. You're right.
Welcome to Today in LA with Forrest Lee and Mr. Mike Amos.
Hey, morning.
Your dad's on the set. We added some bowl games, Michael, because of the holidays. We've had about 26 that we're going to try to pick today, and but your dad and sister. Is it Rebecca?
Yeah, Rebecca, yeah.
They're going to roll out of Troy here in just a few minutes, heading to Orlando.
Well, you're right. And I say she's going to be there when I get home. Okay. But I'm excited about spending time with my daughter, driving to Orlando, Florida, and it's going to be fun.
How long a drive is that from Troy?
About 5 and what did you say it was, Michael?
No, I mean, that's from the beach. I was telling you.
Well, that's where I'm gonna actually be coming in.
When it was from my house to Drayton, was 5 hours and 45 minutes.
All right, that means
from Troy it'd be over 7 hours.
So on the way back, she's gonna drop you off at the beach.
Well, and she's gonna stay there too. Okay. We're gonna spend we're going to spend actually Thursday and Friday, and then come back Saturday morning and come back to the beach. And how long did it take to drive to Orlando to the beach, Mike? What do you think?
Probably Panama City Beach. Probably 5 hours and probably 15 minutes.
5 hours and 15 minutes. So that's what
it takes about 25 to 30 minutes from my house to your condo. Yeah.
So we're gonna probably go back from Orlando to the condo and spend Saturday night and Sunday and come back Sunday, or something like that.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that when you have the top of the line security system, ceasefire, Troy Cable security system.
Yeah. Why is that?
Business. Doberman pinchers, Rottweilers. German Shepherds at the house.
Oh yeah,
it's great security to have.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this: that if they don't want something to blow their ears off, they don't want to come to my house, because mine will blow your ears off. Hey,
need to bring a jacket, man. The high tomorrow's going to be 69, low 49, so you're going to get some colder weather.
Really?
In Orlando?
Yep.
Do I need to wear any rain gear, Mike?
No, the rain's not going to be there until Saturday, but y'all going to have that horrible front we had last night. We had tornado warnings.
Yeah,
water spouts and all kinds of stuff.
Did you really?
Beach last night. It was awful.
Well, I didn't particularly. I could hear the heavy rain, but I don't believe we got a lot of wind. What did you say?
Not too bad. Hey, I was going to mention this. We mentioned it off air yesterday. You ever heard of Ollie Matson?
Yeah. Running back to Chicago or St. Louis Cardinals, but they were the Chicago Cardinals.
That's right. Guess what? Marcus Jones, Troy University alumni, that plays for the New England Patriots.
Yep.
He intercepted Arizona Cardinals quarterback Colt McCoy in the third quarter and ran it back for a touchdown.
I didn't know that.
He's the first player in NFL history in 70 years since Ollie Matson with an interception, a receiving touchdown, and a punt return touchdown in the same season since Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ollie Matson did it in 1954.
With the Chicago Cardinals.
So, congratulations to Enterprises, Marcus Jones, if he belongs to Troy University now, he's with the
It actually graduated from Houston, though. He was only at Troy for 2 years.
Okay.
Well,
something happened and he ended up transferring to Houston. And then I saw where Troy's former place kicker, Jack Martin, that was from Northview, that led Troy in punt 1 year, transferred to Alabama. Now he's transferred to Houston from Alabama.
Okay, they want to play. You know, that guy from Alabama's not going anywhere. You know.
Yeah, he is going. He actually is going to the draft.
Oh, he is. I didn't know that.
Will Reichert is going to be the Senior Bowl kicker.
Huh.
And so
let me just say this: the Senior Bowl, if they don't have Carlton Marshall from McGill-Tulane in Mobile, Alabama, the all-time leading tackle leader in the history of football, has not been invited to the Senior Bowl. That is a travesty.
He still hasn't been invited. Are you sure about that?
I'm 100% sure.
Well, gosh. What's the date of the Senior Bowl, Mike?
It's usually a week after.
Oh, Bud, my friend Bud Casey and I used to go down.
January 20th.
Bud Casey and I used to go down there every year, and we really had a good time. Let me see that a minute. Let me see that.
I'm an All-American player.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If anybody in my life has ever
outpunted the coverage.
Outpunted the coverage, you have, my friend.
Did you outpunch yours in the 50s?
Look at that right there. That is a beautiful lady, buddy.
Jody Lucille Fowler from Manchester, Georgia.
Jody Lucille Fowler.
I guess we need to start picking games since we only got 40 minutes.
All right, buddy, we're ready.
Let's start it off with the Bahamas Bowl. You got Miami of Ohio playing tomorrow versus the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
Yeah, all this coaching staff's going to be let go pretty much. I don't know if Trent Dilfer's going to retain any of these guys. Brian Benson's probably last game at UAB.
I hate that.
10.5 point favorite. I'm going to say UAB.
Tell me a little bit about Dilfer real quick. I know he's from a pro quarterback.
He was coaching in Tennessee at a high school.
Lipscomb. Yeah, he had an undefeated team at Lipscomb, and they call him the quarterback guru.
Wait a minute, Lipscomb.
Lipscomb Academy.
High school.
I know it. I knew that Lipscomb, the basketball team, doesn't have a football team. Okay.
Who you got, Mike?
We got UAB. I think UAB will beat them. I think UAB.
All right, the Cure Bowl.
I'll go ahead and say this: UAB might not play. A lot of these players are disgruntled and wanted Benson to be the head coach. So we'll see what happens here.
Well,
bowl games though. I'll go ahead and tell you, when we pick these, there'll be 10 guys that won't play before the game starts, and you won't know anything about it. So that's the hardest thing about picking these bowl games.
All right, the next one, the Cure Bowl. Troy University takes on the University of Texas San Antonio with 11-2 record, both teams.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be a good one. I like Troy because of their defense, but Troy has not played a team this good offensively. Maybe possibly Western Kentucky. Troy has not played a team with the offense that this team has. But
yeah, Frank Harris is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the country. ESPN voted this the top 5 bowl game of the bowl season.
And that's something.
It's two conference champions going up against each other. Troy's ranked 24th, and UT San Antonio is 25th in the college football playoffs.
Well, I tell you what, he's on a roll. They've been on a roll all, they won the last 10 straight, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm, they both have.
And, boy, I'm going to take Troy.
Well, don't tell nobody, but I'm going to pick the other team.
Oh, God.
Just based upon stats.
Hey, look, you can tell it's all about winning.
The only thing I'll say about Troy is Gunnar Watson finally played the best game of his career, and I hope that confidence we'll see carry over to the bowl game.
He's coming back next year.
I'll say one thing about Frank Harris, though. He's never seen a defense like Troy's this year.
Yeah.
Troy is super quick. So I'm going to take Troy, but I'm going to say this is a field goal game. It's super close.
Did Troy lose anybody with a portal?
The line, no starters. The line is 1.5 Troy.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a good one.
All right, Fenway Bowl in Boston. Cincinnati versus Louisville.
All right, they call it the Fenway Bowl. That's located in Boston Red Sox home field. They're playing a football game in Fenway Park, historic Fenway Park in Boston.
Yeah, I mean, you have no clue who's going to win this game. Fickle is now Wisconsin, the Cincinnati coach. Louisville coach Satterfield's at Cincinnati. Really hard game to
I'm going to take Cincinnati, even though the quarterback from Louisville's from Alabama.
I'm going to take Louisville.
I'm going to have to go with a...
Don't you know it's a fun bowl to go to, though? Wouldn't you love to go to Boston?
It's probably going to be cold.
Boston, it's going to be real cold. But just to be in that area,
All right, the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia, the Jackson State from Mississippi will play North Carolina Central.
And what's his name, Mike, will not play.
Is Dion going to coach in that bowl?
Yeah, Dion's going to coach.
He is going to coach?
Is his son going to play?
I would assume.
I'm going to take Jackson State then if that's the case.
I'm not even seeing a line on that game.
Well, because they're 1AA, I think. No.
Yeah, but usually they post 1AA if it's a bowl game.
Yeah. I see something that said 17. What does that mean?
That's the day it's played.
Oh, that's the day. Okay, day it's played.
That's Saturday the 17th.
All right. Who do you like?
I got Jackson State.
All right.
I'll take Jackson State.
All right, then in Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's the New Mexico Bowl, SMU versus BYU.
Before we pick this one, I want everybody to know that you came away with you were the big $100 winner.
By about 7 points on the tiebreaker.
We went to a tie. Did you know that, Mike? You went to a tie and you lost the tiebreaker.
Yeah,
Yeah. We talked about it. I'll tell you what, I've been doing so many Christmas parties and so many things down here with my kids, I can't even keep up with anything.
Well, you having fun?
Yeah.
You got another one tonight. I'll take SMU.
Well, not so fast. I picked BYU.
I tell you, SMU can score like no team in the country. I'm gonna take SMU.
Okay. All right. Then we got the Los Angeles Bowl in Inglewood, California. Washington State versus Fresno State. I'll take. What are they? They're not the Huskies. They're the Washington State.
They're the Cougars.
Cougars.
I've been to that
I'm gonna
stadium.
take Washington State.
I have been to that stadium, Mike, and I've actually been down the road to watch a football game in a indoor facility. Can you tell me what that was?
You went to the
Idaho Bowl, sure did. And
Fresno State's won 8 in a row. They got a great quarterback. I'm taking Fresno State.
They do, and
need to mention that Washington State has done a lot of great stuff honoring Coach Leach this week. I've seen a lot of stuff on social media, so they've really have gone out of their way to remember their former coach.
Yeah, and Mississippi State promoted Zach Arnett as the permanent head coach. He's 36.
As a permanent head coach?
as of right now.
Defense coordinator.
Yeah, he's the defense
All right,
coordinator.
but they're gonna hire somebody else, though, probably, won't they?
Well, they're going
No,
he's the
he's
permanent
the
guy.
coach now.
They feel
really?
like with as much going on with recruiting and
All right.
and the hurt that the program is suffering right now, that it's better to go ahead and name him. He came along with Coach Leach at the same time. Prior to that, he was an assistant at San Diego State for about 8 years. So congratulations to Zach Arnett, and best of luck to you. And
yeah, I was thinking they would go back and try to bring Mullen back. That's what I would have tried to. I mean, the guy is one of the winningest coaches ever at Mississippi State. I guess they wanted to hire one.
And I hate to say this, but it's going to be a huge drop in salary. Huge drop in salary. I'll be surprised if this guy. Well, he might make $1 million, but I don't know.
No, $1 million. He'll make at least 3 or 4.
You think they will just because he's the position?
And the players 100% want to play in the bowl game.
Yeah.
You know, Will called in yesterday. He feels like they're going to win.
Yeah.
Mississippi State will win their bowl game.
All right.
All right, we got. So I picked Washington State, and everybody else picked Fresno, I believe.
I did. I don't know about that.
I picked Fresno.
All right, the Linden Tree Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. Rice versus Southern Mississippi.
Tell you what, Mobile Bowl is a fun bowl game.
I'm gonna take Rice. I'm gonna take Southern Miss in a big way. They're playing real well. I tell you what, they had a good year.
Southern Miss is 6.5 point favorite. I'll take Southern Miss.
I'll go with the Hattiesburg Hatters.
You know, Southern Miss beat Tulane this year. That's kind of hard to believe.
Yeah, the only team that beat them, what they lost to another one, didn't they?
No, Central Florida beat them too.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure
in the regular season.
Make sure I wrote this down correctly. Yep. This Saturday in the Las Vegas Bowl, we have Oregon State versus Florida. Lost in the Las Vegas Bowl.
I like Oregon State.
Who Florida plays at quarterback because Robinson's going to the NFL draft.
Who was the other quarterback, Mike, that was real good at Florida? There were 2 of them. Who was the other guy?
Got arrested. Kitten did.
Yeah, he's toast.
He's going to go to prison. I'll take Oregon State. They're a 10.5 point favorite.
I'll take Oregon State too.
All right. This Saturday to round out the bowl games this weekend.
But I will say those Florida folks gonna have a good time in the Las Vegas Bowl.
If you can't have fun in Las Vegas, something's wrong with it.
Yeah.
In Frisco, Texas, the Frisco, Texas Bowl, Boise State versus North Texas.
Well, boy, that's gonna be a tough one.
Boise State's the better team here. I'll take Boise.
I don't know. North Texas had a pretty good year, but I'm going to take Boise.
I concur. Boise State. On Monday night.
Boise State's a 10.5 point favorite.
But now, remember this, ladies and gentlemen. They're not playing on the blue field. Now, that's a big difference.
Well, they might be playing on the blue. Now they're playing in Texas.
Yeah, Frisco.
North Texas coach is gone, too. They got a new coach.
Yeah.
All right, number 10, pick Myrtle Beach.
And this is Johnny Williams' bowl. Johnny Williams. Yeah, I want to mention Johnny Williams, our good friend, and he runs the Myrtle Beach Bowl for ESPN, and he runs the Camilla Bowl for ESPN. So he's got two bowl games he's administrating.
Well, you got Marshall.
We should have had Johnny on the phone one day this week.
Yeah, I know it. You're right.
Marshall versus UConn.
We can call Johnny, Mike. I can call Johnny Williams right now if you want to.
Marshall's 8-4. I don't know if we'd have time. Marshall's 8-4, playing really good football.
We don't have but 30 minutes. Yeah.
I'll take Marshall. They're 10.5 point favorite.
That's who I picked. And I think we're fixing
you.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Good morning, Will.
Oh, it's Max Howell.
Hey, Max, good to hear from you, buddy.
How's everything in Roy?
Doing real well. Max Howell calling from Fulton, Mississippi. I've been reading about you, Max, and everything's good, isn't it?
Going very, very well, Mike. Could not ask it to be any better.
Well, that's great.
Way more than I deserve, I can promise you.
Well, Max, horrible situation in Mississippi State. Super sad. I can't believe that Mike Leach passed away. One of the, I guess, only coaches that has ever passed away while actively coaching since a former coach at LSU, I read, in the 80s.
Right.
Bo Ryan. Bo Ryan, yeah. So that's super sad news out of Starkville. I know you know a lot of people involved in that program. I know Coach Leach had pneumonia, they had mentioned, and had been sick. But did you hear of anything like that? This was a situation where he was possibly going to retire before or after the season. I've read some articles about that that's how sick he had been.
Well, that would have been rumored, Michael, but publicity around that after the fact probably does start to circulate a little bit. We had we knew a little bit about his pneumonia, but thought that was under control.
I tell you what, though, you could look at him in that last ball game. He did not look good. I know that says.
And if you watch that, you know how a sideline reporter grabs those
Yeah.
They come off the field. I've never seen one not stop, and he didn't stop. The girl asked him, "Well, what, Coach? What on the first half? What you gonna tell the players?" He said, "Who'd you ask him when they come out?"
Yeah, that's bad. I tell you,
he was the guy that the last game he won was the biggest win he had at Mississippi State. He finished 8-4, beat Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. So if he was ever going to go out with a win, that would definitely be it. But looks like they're going to hire from within.
They already
defense coordinator.
Yeah, they've already announced him yesterday as a full-time. They need to put an interim tag on him. He's going to be the head coach.
that's good.
I don't know a lot about him, to tell you the truth. He's been on the staff of Mike, I believe, the whole time since he's been there. Mike brought him with him. But they elevated him yesterday to the head coach position.
Yeah, he came out of.
Brett Bailey and them in Illinois, who they're playing in the bowl game, sent a request to the president of the university, Dr. Keenan, saying, if you guys feel, you need this time for the morning or breathing or showing respect for Mike, we'll just cancel the game. And it's almost an outrage. Said, we want to play the game. It's dedicated to Mike Leach.
Hey, and
and how ironic is that? His dad was a pirate. I mean, he loved the pirate stories and all. He used that as a lot of comparisons to things when he gave public speech. But they're playing in Tampa, where they have a big pirate ship and they fire a cannon on the stores. So I thought that was ironic, really ironic that ought to have been set up.
And their helmet decals will have a flag on it with a pirate emblem.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's fitting.
And you know where he wanted to live for the rest of his life was in South Florida.
Yes, Key West.
Yeah, he owned a home in Key West. Yeah,
right.
And he loved that area.
Yeah, he walked the beat of a different drummer there. He had a law degree, had a couple other degrees, passed a master's degree in other fields. He taught a class. He taught 2 classes at Washington State before he came, and they'd already hired him as an instructor at Mississippi State in addition to his coaching responsibility.
No question about it. And then of course he could have had a radio show or any kind of. He was perfect for that.
Yeah, I used to listen to him on the radio.
Yeah, great media personality. Yeah. And I remember, he and Kiffin came at the same time to Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And over here, the media was just, they were so tickled to death to have 2 guys that were, kind of compatible to each other in different ways. Yeah. But the abusive abrasiveness between the 2 teams had calmed down a bit. Still competitive, but they didn't have the fights before the game and the fights through the Grove and that stuff, or at Mississippi State. All that had calmed down, mainly because both those guys kind of saw themselves as comics, and they kept the feeling and the communication very light. And I think it worked. It really did.
Max, I want you to hold on with us, and you can comment on any of these games that you would like. I was talking about Johnny Williams. He's the administrator. He's the head guy at the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Camellia Bowl, the Myrtle Beach Bowl,
and also did a great job with both those bowl games. All right, now we've already done Myrtle Beach Bowl. Okay. I took Marshall.
I took Marshall. Number 11, the famous Ida Potato Bowl in Boise, Eastern Michigan versus San Jose State.
Eastern Michigan is quarterback is Taylor Powell.
Yeah, you're right. He played at Troy last year.
Yeah, played at Troy last year. Hard to believe that he called on another team, had another good year actually. I'll take San Jose State.
I picked Eastern Michigan.
Boy, that's going to be a tough one. You don't know, those guys for San Jose might decide they'd rather go to the beach. I think I'll take San Jose State.
The Boca Raton Bowl, Liberty versus Toledo.
Oh, Liberty.
Coach will not be there. That's Hugh Freeze. I'll take Toledo.
I think I'll take Toledo, too.
I guess everybody's going with Toledo. Then the New Orleans Bowl, University of South Alabama versus Western Kentucky.
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
Great game right here.
Let me ask you this, and I'm sure that the Cure Bowl is going to be a nice bowl game, that a lot of folks are looking forward to. But if you had a vote on which bowl game you'd rather go to, what would it be, Mike?
Well, it used to be New Orleans, but New Orleans is not the safest place in the world that it used to be.
Mike,
it's never been super safe, but I would rather go to Orlando, to Disney World and Universal Studios if I was Troy. In my opinion, they had the number one pick. The Cure Bowl did.
Yeah.
New Orleans is not the same place it used to be.
Yeah, Mike, listen now. Don't be saying that when they'll have plenty of police protection, for that bowl game. Wouldn't you say, Mac?
What about your fans?
Yeah, tell you what, though, I've been from Florida State. We played Auburn there in the Sugar Bowl. The hardest thing it is to do is keep controlling your kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to come. We get in 3 or 4 days. I think almost a week ahead of time to practice and get a feeling for the little more humidity down there than it was in Tallahassee. So we, but the thing we assigned coaches. They just stay up all night so they don't leave us.
I agree.
I mean, I've been to many games at the Superdome, and don't get me wrong, it's a great environment in the Superdome, but the last few times I've been to New Orleans.
Boy, I tell you what, I hope the Chamber of
Alabama's going.
I hope the Chamber of Commerce for New Orleans is not listening to you this morning.
Well, I'm just being honest with you, man.
Well, that is true. That is true.
That's where Alabama plays.
They've got their
That's right.
problems.
The Alabama will not. Alabama will. As long as you stay within the perimeter. What is it? Perimeters. Perimeters. As long as you stay within.
I will say I'm saying this, but I'm going to the New Orleans Saints game against Carolina Panthers on January the 8th. I'll be in New Orleans.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you got South Alabama versus Western Kentucky. I picked the Jaguars of Mobile.
Yeah, South Alabama. I mean, what can you say? I mean, 10-2. They've never even had a winning season until this year. That Kane Womack, a good coach.
Well, I'll tell you this: it's going to be a high-scoring game, I would think.
Yeah,
I'll take South Alabama.
Over under is only 55.5.
I'll take South Alabama.
Who you got, Michael?
I'll take South Alabama. I mean, Troy won out Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky is pretty good, though.
All right. Bowl 14, the Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, Texas, Baylor versus Air Force.
No question in my mind. Baylor in a big way. Go ahead and dot that. Double dot.
I done dotted mine.
Baylor's losing their defense coordinator, Ron Roberts, to Auburn, who's a really good defense coordinator.
Really?
A good hire by Freeze.
I didn't realize that.
I don't know if Roberts will coach in this game or not, but Dave Miranda's a defensive mastermind.
All right.
Yeah, he needs to get a haircut. Dave needs to get a haircut.
Yeah.
Dave's bald.
I know it.
Yeah. All right. Then we got
being facetious.
All right. So you got Baylor, Michael. All right.
Yeah.
Then number 15, the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa, Florida. Wake Forest versus Missouri.
That's going to be a good game because Missouri's played real well at the end of the year.
It is, yeah.
I sort of like Missouri here. I'm going to take Missouri.
I'm going to take Wake Forest.
I'll take Missouri. Missouri's they're trying to prove something. I like teams that are trying to prove something.
Wake Forest spells their name wrong. It should be 2 R's.
What do you think about that game, Max?
Yeah, I kind of like Missouri in that. With Wake Forest, it's been a pretty good football team, but I think Missouri's kind of got their back up against the wall. They really need a big win for that program.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I take Missouri in that one.
Who'd you get, Mike Jr.? Who'd you pick?
I took Wake Forest.
Okay. So I got Independence Bowl, Shreveport, Louisiana. Houston versus Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah, Lafayette snuck their way into a bowl game.
I know it. It's probably...
It's a really good bowl game for a Louisiana team to play in.
I'll take our guy.
I like Houston. I like Houston big.
I like Houston.
All right. Then number 17 in Honolulu, Hawaii. It's the Hawaii Bowl as Middle Tennessee plays San Diego State.
Now, that would have been a nice bowl.
What's wrong with this picture here? Middle Tennessee gets to go to Hawaii and UAB gets to go to the Bahamas.
And
talking about fan bases that are excited.
UAB had a good basketball win last night versus South Carolina. That's the second Southeastern Conference team that they've beaten.
UAB, yeah.
Hey, Force, they didn't cover, though. The line was 16. They only won by 14.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's how bad South Carolina and Georgia are in basketball.
We better move on, Mike.
All right.
I'll take San Diego State.
I'm going to go with them California boys. All right.
I'm going to take
the Quick Lane Bowl. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Mike.
I'll take San Diego State.
All right, in the Quick Lane Bowl, Bowling Green versus New Mexico State.
Can you believe Bowling Green is going to a bowl?
Can you believe New Mexico State's going?
I know it. Yeah, that's more than anything. New Mexico State hasn't been anywhere in the last 40 years.
New Mexico State had to get a waiver to play one more game against Valparaiso during the championship games.
Did they really?
It's been played in Detroit.
And that got them to 6 wins.
And Valparaiso's a 1AA team, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, horrible 1AA team.
I'll take Bowling Green.
I don't even know. Where's this game played?
Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
Detroit, Michigan? Oh, I'll take Bowling Green.
Boy, those kids from Michigan State, bless their hearts.
Bowling Green will have a lot more fans. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the big fans come to New Mexico State for the rodeo. I've been out there.
Yeah.
They put 25,000, 30,000 to stand for a rodeo at New Mexico State.
Oh, yeah.
All right, then we have the First Responders Bowl in Gerald Ford Stadium in Dallas. That's Memphis versus Utah State.
No question here, Memphis. Utah State had no business in a bowl game, I don't think.
I'll pick Memphis.
I'll take Memphis.
All right, Birmingham Bowl.
Well, everybody said, Max, everybody said, well, the quarterback's not going to play. Talking about Coastal Carolina, their great quarterback was not going to play against Troy. He played every down but 2 or 3 against Troy.
He's transferring out.
and he's transferring out.
Yeah, he might transfer to Auburn.
Well, so he won't play in this game then, will he? East Carolina, I'll tell you this, East Carolina in a big way. They're going to go to...
Troy could have played in this game if they wanted to. They could have played Birmingham.
Yeah, I bet they could, yeah. And
because Coastal, they were, I guess, finished second in the league.
Who do y'all want? Who do you want there?
I think East Carolina.
East Carolina's pretty good.
Yeah, they got a really good running back.
Well, you talked me
I'm
into it.
waiting to hear from Farley.
I'll take the Pirates. Aren't they the Pirates?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the Pirates.
So how many games we're going to do? We're already past Christmas.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, we're going to go to the 28th. We got about 5 more. All right, the Camellia Bowl, Buffalo versus Georgia Southern.
From Montgomery, Alabama, and Coach, Mike, you know who the person that's going to speak at the banquet? Chan Gailey is going to speak at the banquet on the Monday after Christmas, and it'd be good if you like to go. Call the offices up there, and you can go up to the banquet and see Chan Gailey, who coached at Troy to a national championship in 1984.
Buffalo versus Georgia Southern.
Yeah, interesting story here. The quarterback for Georgia Southern was a starter at Buffalo for 3 years.
Is that right?
So I'll take Georgia Southern, and Coach Helton did a pretty good job his first year at Georgia Southern.
Sure did. I'll take Georgia Southern.
That's my wife's alma mater.
These games are always real close.
I'll take Southern. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl in Phoenix, Arizona.
Is that the best name of a program you've ever heard? The Guaranteed Rate Bowl.
Oklahoma State versus Wisconsin.
Max Howell, who do you like here? Oklahoma State, and their quarterback's already joined the pro.
Yeah, he's in the portal too. Spencer Sanders. Wisconsin's without their coach.
Take Wisconsin. I'll take Wisconsin.
That's a tough game to pick right there.
I'll take Wisconsin.
I'll take Wisconsin just on talent.
Well, Rule is going to be the new head coach there at Wisconsin, isn't he?
No, he's at Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
Bickle's the new head.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, okay. He'll turn that program around.
I read an article yesterday by the president of West Virginia, Gordon G., and Neil Brown will have another year.
I'm happy for him.
Yep. Who you got, Mike? Oklahoma State.
I think Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a 3-point favorite. I'm taking them.
All right, Duke versus, that's who I got. Duke versus University of Central Florida. Duke versus University
Duke
of Central
had a good year. I'll tell you this, Duke was good.
Military Bowl.
It's hard to pick again.
Duke's coach ought to be coach of the year.
I think I'm going to take Duke. I'm going to take Duke to win the game.
That's going to be in Annapolis, Maryland, the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland.
All right, yeah.
Duke versus UC.
I'm going to take UCF.
I take Central Florida. Yeah.
Well, that's the old Navy field, isn't it? That where Navy plays?
Probably.
This is the Navy Marine Corps Memorial
I know it's
Stadium.
painted like a battleship. I know that.
All right, let's go to the Liberty Bowl. That will be played in Memphis, Tennessee. We have Arkansas versus Kansas.
That's going to be Arkansas all the way in my book. Is the quarterback coming back?
Yeah, Jefferson's coming back for another year. I'm going to take Arkansas. I know if they win that game, they get to 7-6.
I'll pick Arkansas. And in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, 2 of your best players from the state of Alabama, and Alabama won the game, are going to play for Arkansas.
Oh, boy.
They're leaving Alabama. They're going to play for Arkansas in college football. I don't have their names, but I'll try to get them for you.
Wonder if Hugh Freeze is going to get some of those guys for plug.
Yeah, the best player in Alabama was an 8th grade quarterback at Thompson.
That's something.
We're gonna let him play at halftime in the band at Alabama.
Yeah.
He can play both. That'll be a duel.
Who do you like there, Max? Who do you like there?
I like Arkansas. I like Arkansas in that one.
All right, we got 2 more. The Holiday Bowl features, that's in San Diego at Petco Park, Oregon versus North Carolina State.
Bo.
Bo's coming back another year.
I'll take Oregon. But
I'll take Oregon.
All right, and our last bowl, this will be number 26. Well, there's total of 42.
This is the day after, wait a minute, it's the 28th, okay.
No, it's, so you have Texas, the Texas Bowl will be played in Houston at NRG Stadium. This is an 8 o'clock game. Texas Tech versus Ole Miss.
Oh,
Tech
brother.
versus.
That's a big game for Kiffin to bounce back, try to turn their season.
I'm going to take Ole Miss.
Ole Miss should be able to run it down their throat. I'll take Ole Miss.
That's who I got.
They've got 2 running backs. And you know, Mac, something about that running back, he came from 30 miles north of Troy at Pike Road. He lives 30 miles north of Troy.
It's nobody in Alabama offers.
I know it.
It would have been the starting running back at Auburn if Kiffin would have taken that job, because Hank Bigsby's going to the draft.
You know what? That had to tear Auburn folks' heart out right there. Because he said all along he wasn't going to go, but money talks, doesn't it?
No doubt.
Yeah. When
well, Max, what do you think about Troy? Coach Summerall, 11-2, first year as a head coach. I mean, this is unbelievable what he's done.
Yeah, he lost that one, to App State on that last play. Other than that, I mean, he did a great job. He really did. Now, I just saw this morning where he's got like 12 guys going in the portal, but that's where he made a living last year. He brought in 27 players. I think 8 or 9 of them started for him.
We're talking about Ole Miss.
No, not at Troy, Max. Troy only had 2 guys.
No, I'm sorry. It's Ole Miss that I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah.
I'll do it back to you.
Troy had 2 guys from the portal to start, right. Hunter Rivers and Ray J. Johnson from UAB, and that was it. Everybody else was the same players Lindsey had. It's unbelievable.
It is. That's good coaching. That's good coaching.
Who will be the winning sweepstakes programs this year? Transfer portal. Who's going to win the sweepstakes?
If you look at the portal situation, though, guys, the top 4 teams that are in the portal, Alabama had more teams go to the portal than all 4 of those combined. So what does that tell you about one loss record per se, and about the program itself?
Yeah.
Who will win the portal? Kiffin will try to. I promise you that.
I tell you what, it's your personal opinion. Don't you think it's the worst thing that's ever happened to college football?
No, the worst thing that ever happened, Mike, is that.
What?
When they went to 1-year scholarships.
Yeah.
That's what caused it.
Oh yeah. You're
I mean, Max, you coached for several years. I mean, tell everybody the difference in the maturity level of a kid that's already been in college for a year compared to a high school kid.
No doubt.
I mean, why in the world would you offer a high school kid when you can get a kid that's already been in college?
Yeah.
Absolutely right. It's all that's Mike. All that started, 15 years ago when they went to 1-year scholarships. Very few fans know that. They talk about loyalty. No, ain't no such thing as that anymore. I mean, a kid wants to go somewhere. First of all, he thinks he's good enough to get to the NFL. He wants to play. That's first. Second is the educational part is secondary to both of those guys if they would, particularly the Power 5 conferences. So no, I don't have a problem with any of that. The NCAA created that situation, so let everybody adjust to it.
And when you got a kid, say, coming out of Alabama, guess what? He's been through a practice regime, and they're a lot of people are pinpoint for them, but it's going to be Auburn's going to do well.
Let me ask you,
what's going on with that Santa bowling pin?
I painted that. I found one.
Wow.
I found one years ago, and I bought some more polling pins.
he's gonna make a living at that. Now you need to make your buckle and then get you some dots to make your buttons and everything on his coat.
Yeah, that's his beard.
All right, yeah, you're right. Wait a minute, that is his beard. You're right.
Yeah.
That was something that I had on my mind about. Let me ask you this: Auburn, and the portal. That running back, not the one that's went with portal, but the running back, 26 or 27. What's his number at Auburn?
Hunter.
That guy is something, buddy. That guy can fly, and He's better than the kid.
Bixby that's going to the pros.
Yeah, to me, he's better than Bixby, Mike. Didn't you like him against Alabama?
He rushed for over 100 yards against Alabama, but they had 360 rushing yards against Alabama.
I know,
Didn't all their starting linemen were seniors?
Yeah, something like that. Now, let me tell you, ask this, Max. He'll eat up this portal. Auburn will get more players in the portal, I think, than almost anybody. What do you think, Max?
They'll make a run at it. I mean, that's gonna be the survival.
And he just say, "Hey, come to Auburn where there's 90,000 screaming fans at every ball game."
Well, look, guys, they didn't do anything with the previous staff. They only had 7 or 8 commitments for early signing period.
Yeah.
Well, most everybody else in the SEC had 15 or more.
Yeah.
They didn't go out on Friday night. The head coach went to see his son play at Auburn High School. I'm telling you, I'm very close to the folks at Thompson High School.
Yeah.
Last year they had 9 Division I players signed. Auburn never showed up on campus, not one time.
Isn't that amazing?
You know, the early signing period closes the 20th of December.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, it does.
And of course,
we need to mention the Duluth Trading Cure Bowl will be tomorrow at 2:00 Central Time on ESPN. Mike Amos will be in attendance. They play at a professional soccer stadium that holds 26,000 fans. But I'm going to have to check my daughter out early from school tomorrow so I can watch the game.
that's what I worried about too. High school getting it out, and hopefully the Troy schools will get out early to watch Troy play.
I tell you what, Troy ought to be fresh and ready to go. I mean, they've only basically like having an off week after the championship game. They've only had 13 days. And
let's mention this. Let's mention this that we've got graduation on campus. Listen to this now. There's 800 graduates Friday for graduation. And let's see, I can't.
That's the keynote speaker.
Keynote.
Major General Michael McCurry, the commander of Fort Rooker, will speak.
And then later on that day, that night. Tonight,
football and band.
The football players, that are graduating, and the band members that are graduating will receive their diploma tonight.
And I'll be
there. Yeah,
a special event.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. But 800, that's one of the largest single graduations that I've ever seen at Troy.
Yes, sir.
And so congratulations to all you graduates.
This weekend you'll have Alabama and Gonzaga in basketball in Birmingham too. Should be 19,000 fans there listening at the BJCC.
And when is that, tonight or tomorrow?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, Saturday.
Saturday at noon.
Yeah,
or at 1.
I think Troy will be on the road against Southeast Louisiana. Troy's basketball team is about to start conference play pretty soon.
Yeah. Hey, and another thing coming up I wanted to mention is, Troy won big yesterday over LaGrange College, 114-49.
Yeah.
Their next game, they will travel to Belmont.
Oh, boy.
Tootie Jones, who played at Charles Hennessy.
That's right.
Plays for Belmont. She averages 11 points, 2.3 assists, and 1.3 steals per game.
And the best free throw shooter in the country, probably.
So Tootie Jones, that's in January, but I did want to throw that out that the Troy women won big yesterday.
Yeah. All right, we're going after the ring, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we've already won the ring. Now we're going to win the big bowl game, the Cure Bowl.
Well, what you're trying to do here is if you win 12 games, it's the most wins ever in Division I history of Troy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us today, and it was good to see Mike on the set, and thank you for calling
Merry Christmas,
Max and Michael, and I hope you have a good day. We'll see you right now.
Max, real quick, Max, what's for dinner, real quick?
We're going to cook steaks this weekend.
Oh, that sounds good, man. Steaks, and then, of course, you've already got that turkey ready for Thanksgiving. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll do a turkey out of hell this year.
All right, my friend. We love you, and we appreciate you.
Thank you,
Y'all,
guys.
safe travels to Orlando.